OnePlus Nord CE 5G Review. But before we start, please support us by pressing the like and subscribe buttons, so that we can continue to provide the latest information about gadgets and technology. Also turn on the bell button to get the latest updates. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you. The OnePlus Nord CE 5G is the new mid-range killer, or that's at least how OnePlus markets the handset. And it's probably not too far off from the truth. The Nord CE isn't a successor to the original Nord but more of a toned-down version of the latter, hence the name CE, which stands for Core Edition. The phone keeps some of the core specs the original Nord brought, including the design, which is almost indistinguishable from the first Nord. So instead of replacing it, it's meant to coexist with last year's Nord. At around the €300 mark, the phone does face fierce competition from left and right, but it also seems to be well equipped for the job too. It has a bright, 90Hz OLED display, a competent Snapdragon 750G, which is only a small step down from the Snapdragon 765G powered vanilla OnePlus Nord. The base version also arrives with 128GB internal storage. One of the key selling points is probably the portability of the Nord CE. With a 6.43-inch display, the phone is on the compact side, with a profile of less than 8mm and a weight of just 170 grams. OnePlus Nord CE 5G specs at a glance. Body, 159.2 by 73.5 by 7. 9mm, 170 grams, glass front, plastic frame, plastic back. Display, 6.43 inches Fluid AMOLED, 90 Hz, 1080 by 2400 px resolution, 20:9 aspect ratio, 410p. Chipset, Qualcomm SM7225 Snapdragon 750G 5G, 8nm, octa-core 2x2. 2 GHz Creo 570 and 6x1. 8 GHz Creo 570, Adreno 619. Memory, 128GB 6GB RAM, 128GB 8GB RAM, 256GB 12GB RAM, UFS 2.1. OS/software, Android 11, Oxygen OS 11. Rear camera, wide, main, 64MP, f/1.8, 26mm, 0.7 micrometers, TAF, ultra wide angle, 8MP, f/2.3, 119, depth, 2MP, f/2.4. Front camera, 16MP, f/2.5, wide, 1/3.0, 1.0 micrometers. Video capture, rear camera, 4K at 30 fps, 1080p at 30/60/120 fps, gyro ICE, front camera, 1080p at 30/60 fps. Battery, 4500 mAh, fast charging 30 watts, 70% in 30 minutes, advertised. Miscellaneous, fingerprint reader, under display, optical, NFC, 3.5mm jack. OnePlus was able to cram up a respectable 4500 mAh battery inside the phone, which is even a step up from the first Nord, while retaining the 30 watts fast charging called Warp Charge 30T+. As far as cameras are concerned, the Nord CE has a 64MP main camera and a secondary 8MP ultrawide. The third camera on the back is used only for depth information, there's no dedicated macro unit. We can't really complain, though, as macro cameras don't bring extra value to the camera setups, especially at this price range. So is the Nord CE 5G a mid-range killer? We try to find out in the following pages, but one thing is for sure, even by just assessing the specs sheet, the device is a well-rounded product with nothing missing from the list of essentials. Unboxing the OnePlus Nord CE 5G. The phone comes in a fairly standard retail box containing the usual user manuals, a 30 watts rated charger, USB-A to USB-C cable and a transparent case. Our review unit came with a set of bumper cases from OnePlus itself. They are all made of soft touch silicone and some small, dust-like golden particles stand out. It's needless to say that they fit perfectly too. We would have appreciated a more clean design at least for some of the cases, though, as we even had a debate at the office whether these golden chunks on the back of the case are a nice touch or too much. Design and ergonomics. OnePlus seems to be incredibly proud of the Nord CE 5G design, and there are a couple of reasons why. Sure, it does look and feel a lot like the original Nord, but it's sensibly slimmer and lighter at the same time. The company points out that this is the slimmest phone they've released ever since the OnePlus 6T. And in doing so, they didn't decrease battery capacity, at least compared to the proper Nord. In fact, it has gone up to 4500 mAh. The Nord CE 5G tips the scale at just 170 grams and measures just 7.9 millimeters in thickness. The design itself is also quite simple, as OnePlus points out. No fancy camera modules or curves. The only thing that stands out is the blue void color and the soft touch, matte finish. The back is still made of plastic, but it's not readily apparent that it's not glass. Probably the best part is that fingerprints don't stick to the back surface. We can confirm this on the blue void version, at least. And as for the blue void color itself, it's gorgeous. The gradient is mostly uniform and changes color drastically towards the edges. The blue becomes even deeper and goes as far as purple. Since the phone's main body is rather thin, the vertically stacked camera module is sticking out prominently. The sides on the back are slightly curved for a more comfortable grip. The matte finish on the back adds to that, and this is one of the grippiest phones we've handled in a while. The front doesn't deviate much from the 2021 aesthetics, with an off-centered punch hole for the front-facing camera and decently thin bezels all around, including the bottom one. The cutout for the camera could have been a tad smaller, though, and as usual, it eats away a significant chunk of the screen real estate. The core of the side frame is supposed to be made of aluminum, while the material you are able to touch is glass fiber reinforced polycarbonate, or, in simpler words, a slightly altered plastic. The blue glossy finish goes well with the back panel's color, and it's not apparent that it's made of plastic right away. The left is where you'd find the volume button and the dual SIM card tray, no micro SD slot. The right side of the frame is reserved for the power button, while the bottom sees the return of the 3.5mm audio jack. There's also the loudspeaker grill and the USB-C connector next to the jack. On the contrary to the power button, however, the fingerprint reader's placement is rather suboptimal. It's placed a bit too close to the bottom edge of the screen. Just a tad higher wouldn't have required bending your thumb too much. The OnePlus Nord CE 5G may not be particularly impressive when it comes to materials used for the build, but it's surely one of the better designed devices out there. It's light, thin, grippy and comfortable to hold, and more importantly, it feels solid in hand. Bright HRR display with a cutout. Although the first Nord and the Nord CE have almost identical displays on paper, there are a couple of key differences. The most notable one is the missing HDR10 video support. Full sRGB and DCI-P3 coverage and 90Hz refresh rate are still at hand. Anyway, the 6.43-inch Fluid AMOLED display adopts a standard for these days resolution of 1080 by 2400 px, forming a tall 20:9 aspect ratio. The cutout for the front-facing camera appears to be a tad bigger than expected for an OLED panel, and it's placed further from the corner too. The current implementation eats away a significant chunk of the screen's real estate. Doing our usual round of tests revealed another key difference between the vanilla Nord's display and the CE's: brightness. The latter has higher manual brightness and lower peak auto brightness.
Thanks
but
for
still
watching.
sufficient for comfortable outdoor use.
Drop a like,
In manual mode,
leave a
the
comment,
display peaked at
and don't forget to
429 nits while
subscribe
leaving the
to
control on
watch
auto
more
can boost
videos
that to
like this.
607 nits. A respectable result. Color accuracy isn't great with the default vivid mode, so switching to natural mode for less bluish whites and grays is advisable.